welcome back. I know this is kind of a different setup than I normally do with regards to the camera. Uh, I broke my phone and my son is using it because his phone is broken as well, and I was able to fix my old one to allow him to use. So I am using a very cheap, inexpensive. Oh my goodness, you can see my little fat pockets. Anyways, you see these little fat pockets I have? I can stand them sometimes. Anyways, so I've just been going through a lot in regards to my mental health. I have just really been struggling. About a year ago, I was put on medication for generalized depression or generalized anxiety and depression disorders because I was just awful. My depression was so bad that I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to do was lay in bed. And then my anxiety was in overdrive, that my only way to cope with my anxiety was to cry. So I was in bed crying all day, every day. And I am the mother of a 6-year-old boy. And that really doesn't work very well, the two. Of course, I'm gonna always deal with my mental health problems, but I don't think that means that my son should have to deal with those either. So last year I was put on Lexapro, the lowest amount, which is 5 milligrams. I was put on Lexapro, and then a couple months later I was put on acyclovir because my anxiety and my nerves cause severe itchiness within myself. So I have a lot of scars on my legs from scratching, from over scratching, almost as if it was an eczema disorder, where I'm just scratching myself raw due to my nerves. So I was put on acyclovir to help with the scratching and the basically stress blisters I get. And those two medications, absolutely, I can say, have helped. If I were not to be on those two medications, even though one does not have anything to do with my brain, if I were not on those two medications, I can guarantee you it would be much harder for me to function throughout the day. So it's already been a year that I've been on these medications. Specifically Lexapro, it's been a year that I've been on that. And it did really well. It did really, really well up until a month ago when I started noticing a huge difference in my mental health. The generalized anxiety was coming back almost at full force, and the depression is no longer under control like it used to be. I have a doctor's appointment on the 19th of this month of June to see my doctor. I'm going to request more lab work, specifically to do with my thyroid. I feel as though there is something wrong with my thyroid because I am always tired, low energy, just this overall cloudiness and tiredness. And I follow this wonderful content creator on YouTube, and their name is Of Herbs and Altars. Now, I'm that type of person that I've never had a group, a clique that I just mesh well with. That it's this stereotypical group that, all the people that are a part of that group usually form the same style, ideas, ideologies as that group. I've never been that person. I've always liked to delve into different groups, and this specific content creator is a old school goth, awesome, beautiful. They're great. I love them. Dorian is amazing. They have helped me a lot in my journey with mental health, as well as just bringing things to light that I should be discussing with my doctor in regards to my mental health and physical health. Though we deal with different things, I feel I can connect with Of Herbs and Altars or Dorian, because they're so raw, they're so real, their distress is apparent. And that's what I need as a person who deals with depression. I feel like my depression is based on traumatic childhood experiences that I'm not able to remember, that my mind has purposefully not let me remember. The only reason I'm really able to talk about this right now and be more open with it right now is because I did drink a little bit before this video. From a young age, I just remember wanting my brain to be altered. I never wanted to live in reality. I always wondered what it was like to live outside of the reality realm. Since the age of 18, I've smoked consistently marijuana, and it's not beneficial for me. It's more of a habit. I no longer feel the same effects I used to feel, which has kind of led me to the alcohol. And unfortunately, I don't want this to turn into alcoholism, and it is turning into that because I have an addictive personality. That's not something some people really like to admit. They don't like to admit their weaknesses. But in reality, we all have weaknesses that we deal with, that we deal with. It's how it is. Nothing changes that. Some people want to hide it. Some people don't want to hide it. I'm kind of in the middle on that. I want people to understand my pain, but yet I know it's so understandable that I feel as though I come off crazy to some people. Family members have, expressed that they're not affected the same way as I am from their traumas as I am from mine. And really the only thing I can say to that, from what my mother has helped me understand, is that we all carry plates. Some of us have those plastic plates that can bear a lot of weight, that can pile a bunch of food and gravy and everything on, and it's going to hold up strong because it's meant to carry a lot of food. But I'm that dainty piece of china that is only pulled out on special occasions. And that's not to brag, but we all have our specific roles. And some of us are stronger or able to hold more. I don't like to say stronger because I feel like people with mental health issues are very strong people to be able to deal with those issues daily. And for those issues to be so predominant in their life that it affects their life, but they still want more for themselves than just what they're experiencing with their mental health. But back to the analogy of the plates. On one hand, you have this plastic plate that is able to carry so much food, and it can hold whatever you need it to hold. But on this other hand, you have this dainty piece of china that's only brought out on special occasion, and can only hold a certain amount of food because that's all it can bear. And I am the dainty piece of china that's only brought out every once in a little bit. I can't handle what other people can handle, or I'm affected differently from what other people experience. It's difficult. It's hard being the one in your family that overtly deals with mental health issues. My stepfather also deals with a lot of mental health issues that become unbearable for him. We are not biologically related, but the relation we have within our mental health is astounding. I feel as though my adopted father has some type of what do you call it? Asperger's. Some form of that. I feel as though I too have a slight form of that, mainly because all the symptoms Dorian of Herbs and Altars has been able to express and relay to their audience. I feel as though a lot of that connects to me. Again, I will be seeing the doctor on the 19th of June. I will be ordering lab results, specifically with my thyroid, vitamin deficiencies, any other type of deficiency that might alter my state of mind. It's hard dealing with these mental health issues. And the only reason I almost kind of seem numb right now in this video was because I have been dealing all day with the effects that generalized anxiety disorder and depression cause. I have not been formally diagnosed, but I have dealt with anxiety and depression since the age of 14. I would say the age of 13 and 14. I wasn't put on medication until I was 14, but I've been dealing with anxiety since I was the age of 13. And it's been awful. It's been awful because I was a happy person, a kid, a preteen. I was so happy. I had this not even desire to live life, but I was content in where my life was. And from 13, 14, 15 and beyond, my mental health plummeted, and it's never been the same. I've never been the same person as I was when I was 12 years old. And that's to be expected, but I don't have that same mentality. That person is no longer who I am. And I don't want to be like this. The anxiety and depression that's experienced daily is very difficult. There's no explanation. If you don't go through it, if you don't even experience a little bit of it, it will be difficult for you to understand. Just have empathy for those who are fighting silent battles, because those battles are just as relevant as physical ailments. You know, our brain is sick. It's not functioning at a healthy level, at a productive level. And I can say that a majority of the people who struggle with anxiety and depression, and that's all I can speak on because those are the two things I absolutely know I have. People who struggle with those, they don't want that struggle. They don't want to worry and be overly melancholy over things. As a depressed person, it's irrational. But as a depressed person, you also know your brain is your reality. And whatever your brain is thinking, whatever your brain is making you feel, it's your reality. No matter what anybody says, whether they try to make it go away, like by saying it's okay or by trying to distract you, that anxiety and depression will always be there, at least for me. I don't have the normal typical anxiety attacks of hyperventilating and feeling like the world is like feeling this pain of dying. I don't feel that. What I do feel, what I was about to say was, I feel that the world is crashing down on me with my anxiety. I feel like I'm suffocating. My heart does speed up. But I don't feel like I'm hyperventilating. I feel lightheaded, confused, and dizzy. And the only thing that can make me feel better in that moment is crying. Unfortunately, with a child, you can't spend the majority of your day crying. That's not appropriate. And this last year has been a big struggle with my emotions. And I need to get control of them, specifically, not only for myself, but for my son, who can only prosper when I give him the best of myself. I'm thankful for the mother I have. She's always been supportive. I love you, Mama. I'm thankful for my grandmother, who may not always understand what I'm going through, but is always there to support me. And I'm there for those who love me regardless of how I am in this moment and how it affects me socially, mentally, physically, personally, relationship-wise. I appreciate those people who are still there for me. Again, I'm not the only person in my family who deals with depression or anxiety. My mother deals with anxiety and seasonal depression. My dad, I believe, has just my adopted dad, I believe, has just generalized depression. My sister is depressive as well. And the other one doesn't quite exhibit any type of mental health issues, but I do believe that she may have struggles that she's just not able to voice or just doesn't recognize. Or she may not struggle at all. That's not something I've quite delved too deep in with her. But just based on my biological father and the mental health issues that I've observed, I can assume that all three of his daughters have inherited some type of mental disorder. I feel disadvantaged in a way because I'm not a normal functioning person. I'm not by any means. I don't remember the last time I've experienced true happiness, content, or joy outside of what I expect myself to feel with my son. Of course, my son makes me happy. My son brings that smile to my face. But unfortunately, something's wrong with my brain. That when I am so sad, my son obviously just can't fix those issues. Nor should he have to. Nor should he ever feel responsible. I do hope to start therapy soon. I need a therapist. My mom continues to tell me I need a life coach, which is probably very true. I probably do need a life coach. I need a lot of help. I need a lot of help. And I guess this video is just to remind people, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't feel ashamed to ask for help. Everybody needs help. And sometimes those who struggle with mental health need a little bit more help. Accepting that they need help and finally getting that help. I love you guys. I'm sorry if I have been a little blank in this video. It's not specifically my intentions, but when anxiety and depression overwhelm and overcome me, this is me. This is me. And this is how I've been as long as I can remember. And I'm genuinely tired of being this way. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of feeling not worthy enough. When I know that I am, but my brain continues to tell me I'm not. I love you guys. I know there's only a couple of you probably watching this video, but if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. I know it's a really long video, probably one of the longer videos that I've made, but I had this urgent need and desire to put this out there, even though it's nonsense and it probably doesn't make sense and nobody will get through the first 30 seconds of this. But if you do, just know that if you're dealing with those feelings of despair, that you're not the only one. But I do encourage you to seek help. If you can, seek help. If you have somebody to talk to, I really encourage you to talk to them. Even though it doesn't always help, sometimes just knowing somebody knows the pain you're going through is a slight comfort. It's not going to fix everything, and it's not going to 100% comfort you and make you feel like you're not the only one in the world. But it can bring solace to the heart, and that's just what I hope for those who are going through any type of mental health issue, who are not feeling themselves, or people who have dealt with this and are the level that I am at. And I can agree that there are people who are far beyond me. I can never compare myself to them, but this is the battle that I deal with daily. This is what I go through. It's exhausting. It's not fun being sad every day. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching. If you made it to this point in the video, I appreciate it. I know it's been a little janky. It's not my preferred mode of YouTube video, unfortunately. Like I said, this is just temporary until I can get a better recording device. But thank you guys. I appreciate anybody who watches this, anybody who comments, likes, whatever you do. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night, and I just hope that whatever you're feeling doesn't consume you.